Hey guys, it's back. It's game week 1 of the Premier League. The Premier League is kicking off and we're doing it. We're running it back once again. It's fantasy football time. I've been pretty quiet on fantasy football content through pre-season, and that's why I've been trying to keep my team under wraps. But as the game week is today, the deadline is today, let's get this team selection video out. Let's get you coming and joining the league, getting involved, having some fun. And if we can hit a lot of more people in the league this year, that would be even better. But let's get into it. I will show you the league code first before anything. Like always,
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Didn't ask for that. The league code is gonna be here, guys. Feel free to come in, join the league, get involved, get your friends involved, and if we can hit a certain number, I might even put a prize on the line. Only if we hit a certain amount of people, because obviously there's no point if there's only 15 players. But as you can see, we've got a lot of people coming in from last year. We got some new additions to the league so far, and still hopefully more to come, guys. So let's get into this, the team. Let's get into the team. What are we gonna do this year? Wow, we'll go to the transfers wise. We spent all our money. We spent all of it, all 100 million. And I'm pretty confident in my team. I'll walk you through the picks, who I think, what other players I might be considering before the deadline. Obviously, we got to wait until the press conferences and stuff like that. But this is my current lineup. It's Lemons in goal and Kinski. Now, I'm using these two as rotational players. And the reason why is I'm going to be playing Lemons for those first two fixtures against Hull and Ipswich. I still not 100% like the way that they set this up with the purple background. It's kind of annoying, but let's go through it. So yeah, Lemons in goal and then Kinski. And the why I've gone Kinski is he's going to be Spurs' number one. He's not 100% convincing to me, but with a good rotation of fixtures between Spurs and Man United in the first 10, I think that is a good way to target good fixtures, and when there is a not so easy fixture, I have another goalkeeper that will play and could get points. So that's my two thoughts on the goalkeepers, Lemons and Kinski. But for the first two, you need Lemons. Obviously a lot of people will go Raya. As you can see, he's 6 million. Obviously, let's look at last season on Lemons. 109. So he was 41 points behind. And obviously, I think if United had started Carrick, I think he could have been close to Raya's points. Obviously, I understand why people go Raya. Arsenal, good defence. My only issue is now they don't have Saliba. Yes, they've signed Konza, but no one is 100% sure on that defensive line in the back four. And I think they could make a few mistakes which means the back five. I've gone for a very middle-priced defence. To me, Gabriel was too much. 8 million for Gabriel. Yes, he got 209 points. And that's crazy. What I will say is I've not really gone many big hitters in the back line. Yes, I've got 5.5 million on Calafiori. To me, he might not play all 90 minutes for Arsenal, but he's going to be that starting left back. We saw how well he did in the Community Shield. Got a goal, has that attacking threat, will bomb up, get defensive contributions, get clean sheet points, and maybe an attacking return here and there. Obviously, if you go Mascara or Ben White, understandable. But for me, I think with that upside of attacking threat as well, especially with not paying that 8 million for Gabriel, who will get obviously headers and stuff from the box. I think he's probably the next best choice. Though when Konza becomes fit and obviously is integrated into the Arsenal defence, that is a cheat code that I will be trying to target. Next, I've gone Aja. And now I originally had Coyote from Brentford, but Aja is looking to play starting centre back with Van der Verberg out injured. He's a DEFCON monster, and at 4.5 million, probably one of the best 4.5 millions you can pick up right now. And obviously, I expect him to have some good points, get some clean sheets, get some DEFCONs each game, and pick up those points. Leif Davies. I don't really need to speak about much Leif Davies. If you know ball, you know ball. In pre-season, is playing at obviously left back, but he's more of a left winger. He gets those goals. He will get some assists. He will get some returns. Is Ipswich going to set the world alight? Probably not. Are they going to get many clean sheets? Probably not. But this is a cheap 4 million that's going to start, has some good upsides in the attack and returns. And if he does well, he'll be one player in Ipswich's team that will probably go up in value. So for me, Leif Davies, best 4 million defender that you can get. There are some other good 4 million defenders from Ipswich and Coventry. But for me, Leif Davies is the one for me. Next is Nico Williams, and to me, I'm really only targeting Nico Williams for Leeds, maybe Spurs and Coventry, and then I'm probably going to get off the train of that, because they don't have the best of fixtures after that. But I'm really just targeting Nico Williams for game week 1 against Leeds. Then I would look to probably downgrade either 4.5 million or stay at 5 million, because there are some good ones there. And then Hummel from Sunderland, again 4.5 million. If you know football, has been playing pre-season as right back, but is more of a inverted right back, so he's been playing in the 10 in the right wing position and getting those performances. He's got Ipswich and Fulham, who are both relegation contenders in my opinion. So there are some 2 good fixtures that I'm targeting, and then if doesn't go to plan, we look to transfer him to someone like Rondon or another 4 million defender, which means we have some money to play with. I built this squad more of the basis that I don't want to be wildcarding too early, and I want to roll some transfers over for game week 3 and 4, maybe if I need to make some adjustments. Talking to the midfield now. Usually I like to stack the midfield, and I've done that pretty well. But with Bruno Fernandes at 12 million, it is very hard to get other big players in that midfield. So firstly, I've gone Szoboszlai, 7 million. Was Liverpool's best player last season. Is he probably going to have as many returns as Florian Wirtz, who is 7.5? Probably not. But I've gone Szoboszlai instead because he's going to pick up DEFCON points. He can play right back, CDM, Cam. So he'll get more bonus point systems. We'll get clean sheet points, DEFCON points, and attacking returns. He will probably be on free kicks and penalties. Obviously, share that with Isaac on penalties. So that is why I've gone Szoboszlai. But I think for 7 million, he is a great option. And if it doesn't go well, there are some good 6 millions and 6.5 million players. So it's very easy to downgrade than having to transfer 2 players to upgrade. And that's kind of the same with Mbemo. Again, I'm targeting those 2 fixtures from Manchester United. 3 Man United players. Probably for the first time in about 6 years, I've actually had 3 Man United players from the start. I tend to not go on Man United players apart from Bruno Fernandes, because you know what you're going to get from Bruno Fernandes. But I think Mbemo, who is going to be looking to play the number 9 role for at least the first 2 games or even the 3rd game, while Sesko is recovering from injury. And there was a clip out this week that Bruno said to Beth, who is a content creator, captain Mbemo. I'm not going to go Mbemo, but he is suggesting that Mbemo will score goals. And that, to me, and a lot of the community, is saying that Mbemo will start as striker for Manchester United against Hull and Ipswich. Then talking to my 2 other midfielders, these are both 5.5 million players. Yes, I would want someone who's a little bit more expensive, but I picked 2 good cheap players. And the reason why I've gone Xhaka, again, we spoke about Sunderland's 2 first fixtures, will be on penalties, on free kicks, corners. He'll get DEFCON points, he'll get bonus points, he'll get assists, maybe goals. He is a player that does well. Maybe on metrics, he's not the best. But if he doesn't do well, there is a chance that I can still swap him to Paso Gross's 5.5, or there is a couple of 5 millions that are not too bad, and we can just roll it until the wild card. And then here is Sangare, kind of what I did with Elliot Anderson last year. And that was just leave him in the team. He is a DEFCON monster. He might not get goals, he might not get assists. He did get some last year for Lille, I believe, in League One. So he can get goals, he can get assists. But he's been brought in for 5.5 million for his DEFCON ability. And he is one of the players where you can just leave it in. He'll get 4 points, maybe 5 points each week. And on a bonus, he might get 8, might get 9 if he gets an assist or goal. But he will probably get 4 points every week. And those 4 points can definitely add up when you're unsure on a player who might get a goal or might not, or blank. So he's a good player to have. At 5.5, I expect a lot of players will pick him up. And I do expect he will go up in value, because I do think Brentford will do well. And then I've gone for this front 3. Now, a lot of players are going to go for this, at least João Pedro and Erling Haaland. And then they will have Bobby, Calvert-Lewin, Rota from Solanke, Richarlison. It will at least at least have 2. Obviously, if you're not going for Haaland, you do have then a lot of more money to play with. And if I did have that, I could obviously then go someone like Thiago, who a lot of people would go instead. And then you have 7.5 million, which, again, if you got rid of these 2 players, you'd have 18 million. You could go someone like Rodgers. You could probably go 10, 11 million. You could probably go Saka. You could probably go I don't know. You could probably get Gibbs White. You could probably get Cole Palmer. You could points. Let's go points. You could go Cole Palmer. You still have 1.5 million to play with. But my big worry is I'd done it last year. I went Salah instead of Haaland. Salah's not in the league this year. But I can't afford to go without him. Obviously, you could go with someone like Thiago for the first 2 weeks. Gyökeres maybe. And then bring Erling Haaland in for that game against Coventry. But I don't want to be wildcarded. And the thing with Erling Haaland is he will score goals. even if he's not playing well, even if Man City are not playing well, it only takes one good chance, and that's some points for him. So Erling Haaland is in my team. It does obviously mean I'm very restricted with obviously Erling Haaland and Bruno Fernandes in my team. Obviously, we've seen a lot of people have Bruno Fernandes, Erling Haaland, and Gabriel. That's an extra 8 million just on 3 players alone. You're spending about 36 million on just 3 players. But I think Bruno Fernandes is a good captain option for the first 2. Then you move it to Erling Haaland on game week 3. They do play each other on game week 4. But you can look at other games in game week 4 or a free hit to get off that game, those 2 games, and use that money elsewhere. So for me, that is what I'm going to do. Now let's talk about game week 1. Now we've seen the plan. Obviously, we spoke a little bit. If I had to make changes, I'd want to roll it to about game week 3, which means I could then get rid of Xhaka. Maybe I'd get rid of Weekums, and then Kinski. I'd probably go to someone at 4 million on the goalkeeper. There's not really many, so if I had to go, I'd go total points. Probably put the Pravka in. He's only a 4.5 million player that played. Then I would probably go to Konza. Who obviously is joining Arsenal, and then I would have 6.5 million to play with, and there are some good 6.5 million players. Let's not look at the price and go they're not worth buying, because there are some good ones. So let's go 6.5. You've got Elliot Anderson at Man City. Is Elliot Anderson going to be the same monster he was for Forest last season? No. He's going to be playing a different role in Man City. So he's not going to pick up those DEFCON points as much. You've got Harry Wilson joining Leeds, who look quite good. You've got Dewsbury Hall, Laffy. You've got Gravenperch. You've got Ndiaye at 6 million. Lewis Potter, Casado, Walton. I don't know if he's going to be a midfielder. He's not. I was looking at someone like Rio Numenoro from Liverpool, the new replacement. Obviously not replacement, but the youth player from Liverpool. You could look at Arsenal's. I don't know what's his name. An Arsenal player that just signed. Tolles looks quite good in pre-season. He is 6.5 million. So there are some really good 6.5 million players. And even 5.5, 6 million, they're not bad players. You look at the price and go, oh yeah, they're not priced like Rodgers, Semenyo. But for those lower mid-table teams, they are going to be those superstars that will pick up points. But yeah, let's talk about game week 1 then. This is what my team is looking like. And I'm very tempted to actually bench boost in game week 1. And why I'm thinking about bench boost 1 is no one knows who's going to start. And that obviously then has a negative and also a positive. If you bench boost and you get it wrong, you're only going to gain a couple of points. If it goes right and you don't bench boost and you make the wrong decision, for example, Erling Haaland doesn't start, but Aja, who's on my bench, gets a clean sheet, maybe a goal from a header and gains 12 points, no matter what, if I bench boost, I've gained that. Those are extra points that are going to help climb up the rankings early. Obviously, you could say the counterverse is if you leave it later, You know who starts, who plays in each position for each team. But you've then got to make sure your bench is strong enough. Coming into game week 1, you pick some good players. You pick some good bench players as well that have good fixtures here and there. You can use that. The longer you leave it, you'll make transfers to get better players in who have price increase, and it leaves your bench very vulnerable. So that is the reason why I'm potentially going for a bench boost. You've got on my bench, you've got Leif Davies against Sunderland. Sunderland did well last season. Obviously, they picked up some good points last season. But Ipswich coming at home, they could get a clean sheet. Sangari, again, we spoke about that DEFCON. He can probably pick up 4 points. Maybe he gets assist, maybe he gets a goal, maybe he gets a clean sheet. That could be 6 points. Those 6 points can put me top of the league. Aja, again, imagine a double clean sheet for both these players. That's 12 points. So bench boosting early is not a disadvantage, because if it doesn't work, you go, okay, that's 2 points, maybe 2 points, 4 points, 4 points, 8. That's an extra 12 points. If it goes well, clean sheet, 6 points. Clean sheet, DEFCON, maybe, that's 8 points. Same again, maybe a clean sheet, that could be 7 points. 7 points, 14, 6, 20, 26 extra points if I bench boost. There's a lot more upside to bench boosting in game week 1 than there is leaving it to a random week in maybe 7, maybe 10, maybe 11. Because remember, we get 2 chips. So if you make a mistake in the early part of the season, who cares? You then go and use it in the later season, which becomes more predictable. That's the thing. When FA Cup games, Champions League rolls around, there's double weeks, there's blanks. That's when you start using those chips more strategically. When you're in the first part of the season, you just basically say, fuck it. This is the week I want to use it. This one's got a good team to play. Let's triple captain him. That's what I'm thinking. So today, we're going to activate the bench boost. We're going to give it a go. It doesn't matter, obviously. And then we talk about captaincy. Is it Bruno, or is it Mbama, or is it even Erling Haaland? Or could you go someone like Calafiori against Arsenal? Or if you had David Wright, could you go for Arsenal captain? To me, it's probably Bruno or Mbama. Erling Haaland would be a good pick, but from what I saw in the Community Shield, he's not 100% fit from the summer over the World Cup. He only played 59 minutes, only had 1 good chance. I think he only had 2 chances in the whole 60 minutes. Bournemouth are not a bad side, and that is why I'm looking at either Mbemo or Bruno Fernandes. And now this is the question, is it worth taking a risk on Mbemo, who may start as striker, or is it not? Or is it going to be definitely Bruno Fernandes, who would be on the penalty, would be on the free kick, could get a goal, could get assist? And that is why I'm leaving the captaincy on Bruno Fernandes. I think there's no point of changing that. We know how well he was last year. I think he didn't have the greatest World Cup with Portugal, which means he had a lot more minutes to recover, and that is why I'm going for Bruno Fernandes. So this is my game week 1, guys. I'm bench boosting. I'm taking that risk, and yeah, if you haven't already, come and join the league. It's a bit of fun, mess about, and like I said, if we can get some more players in, I might even put a prize on the line. So join, send this code to your friends. It will probably be in the description and the comments for you to join if you are watching this on YouTube. Let me know in the comments down below what your team is looking like. Who you're going to captain. Are you bench boosting game week 1? But yeah, FPL is back, guys. we're looking to reclaim our cup defence. Obviously, we won the cup last year. We didn't win the league. We had a stinker in performance in the league. So hopefully we can do a lot better than that, and maybe go and win it. So thank you for watching, guys. Like us, comment, like, and subscribe. Join the league. Send the league code to your friends and come and join. And we'll see you next week for Game Week 2 and the review of Game Week 1.